The only reason they're screaming about Elon, it's very simple. Nobody has said it yet, and I'm going to say it. It's because they're hitting their pockets. Only reason they're screaming about Elon. They're not screaming about Howard Lutnick. They're not screaming about Bergam. They're not screaming about those billionaires. They're screaming about him. And that's because he's going in and hitting where it hurts. So you know what happens when you scream and when you sing songs outside at a rally, which, by the way, what are you doing on the American taxpayer dollars, creating songs against the Republican Party? It's bizarre. But when you're doing things like that, that says to me one very simple thing. We have hit your Achilles heel, and we will continue to hit you. We will look at why our children are not educated. We will look at why our children have an increase in ADHD. We will look at why our borders are not safe, why our security is crazy, and why there is fentanyl crisis right now in our country like we have never seen. Because illegal immigrants were supposed to come in and vote for Kamala Harris, but it didn't work out for them. So they are panicking. And Elon may be triggering just a little bit of insecurity, which is that they are worried about us looking at exactly what they've done and exactly how much they've made. And that is now stopping. And it's a panic. It's very simple.
Absolutely amazing. Today we're watching Alina Habba completely destroying all of these crooked Dems that want to prevent Trump from doing his job and what he was elected for. Let's go.
We have executive orders being put in place. These judges that are then challenging them, we will deal with them in court. I'm not calling a judge evil. I am not disagreeing with anybody else's comments. I'm not Elon Musk's spokesperson. I am literally speaking to one thing. You must abide by what the American people voted on November 5th. And having people try and stop things like Besant from even getting into the Treasury files is absurd. And to say that would be anything other than that is insane. Look, he was nominated. He was confirmed. And then he couldn't go do his job. That is ridiculous. Whatever words you want to use, I leave it to each person. That's called the First Amendment right that we still have, I believe. But I will say this. You have judges who, if they wanted to be president, they should have run. If they want to oppose things, they should have run. Now, if they're doing things based on law or their interpretation of the law, we look forward to fighting that in court the right way, and we will do so. We will abide it, we will appeal it, and we will take it up to the Supreme Court if we need to.
And in the case involving Besant, the judge took that one back, has fixed it, and as you said, it's working its way through the appeals process, as are all these cases. And thank you for clarifying that you, at least, don't believe he should be fired or is evil.
Well, I didn't say that. No, don't twist my words. I love it. You guys are great. This is why I don't come on CBS. No, I didn't say that. What I said is everybody can use whatever words they want. But as a lawyer, I'll tell you that we are going to challenge it. I don't know that judge personally, but I will say this. I don't care what you're doing. If you're trying to stop people who were appointed, confirmed by the American people from doing their job, that is not following the American way. It's unconstitutional. There are things called separation of powers. There's the executive branch and the judicial branch. But if you want to tell me that we do not have a problem in our judicial system, after seeing what Tish James, what Hochul's doing, directing transgender surgeries from continuing happening, even though they will lose federal fundings as a hospital, then maybe we should be on a different program. But thank you.
Absolutely amazing. I just love Alina Habba on how she's handling all of these completely hypocritical and biased fake news network. She's doing a great job.
If we want to save money, people are going to get upset. Why are they getting upset? Because we're taking money out of their pockets. The best thing that Elon Musk is going to do is going to look at people's salaries and say, okay, if you make X amount of money and you're worth $68 million, we're going to look at why that is. And that's really the bottom line, because we could talk about everything, every executive order, but there is a panic in D.C. at this moment where I now live, and it is very simple. We are cutting them off from their funding. And that means politicians, not just saving taxpayer dollars. And that's where the panic is coming from. It's pretty basic. In our administration, we have a tremendous amount of billionaires who are successful businessmen, and I could name them all, but we know who they are, who have taken a leave, sold their companies, walked away from their lives to sacrifice to help America be great again. There are many, many. Now, Elon's become a target for one very simple reason, because he is cutting the funding to these politicians who have put their bureaucratic, personal financial gain and interest above the American people. That is the difference. that may not be felt by some of the other people that are in the administration that have done the same thing that Elon does, that are incredibly successful billionaires. But they are targeting him because he is cutting their lifeline, their financial. Listen, Nancy made how much money? And we're going to go down the line of looking at all these people. There is no reason, as a federal employee, me included, I shouldn't walk out richer from the federal government. That should not be the case.
No,
and I open you up to look, because it's not going to happen. You don't do it. The only reason there's...
I agree. She's pointing the truth right there, that these people are basically enriching themselves off the back of American taxpayers' money, and it is sad.
Well, this isn't anything new. We've seen this for the last 4 years. This is the weaponization of our justice system. So thank God we have Pam Bondi in now as Attorney General, because it's not going to stand. We did expect it. We understand that there are some very inappropriate, radical judges that are seeing this as a platform to elevate themselves and get a headline. We don't have any time for it. And President Trump's agenda is the one that the American people voted on November 5th. It's really not President Trump. It's what they wanted. And that's the way our country works. It's a republic. That's how it goes. So we'll deal with them in court. This is obviously not something we're not familiar with doing. And there will be repercussions, frankly, for those that try and go after President Trump's orders, for those people that are trying to step in his way and his agenda, which is the American people's agenda.
Well, it is a constitutional conflict here. And it kind of amazes me that more people don't see it, especially Democrats who complain that, say, Elon Musk is not elected, when, of course, these federal judges are certainly not elected. And the only one who is elected is President Trump, who is trying to do what he was elected to do. Do you see this going all the way to the high court, or do you see this as something that will get settled before that point?
It should be settled before that, but they're relentless and they're desperate, as we've seen. And as you pointedly said, there's something called the separation of powers. There's something called the government's, has different departments. He is the executive branch of the government, the leader of the free world. And this is the way it's supposed to go. But again, like I said, this is a weaponization that was created under the Biden administration. We're seeing them cry and scream, and they need to adjust to reality. And they're having a hard time with that. But we're going to have to fight it. We know that. We're ready for it. And when these decisions were made, they were vetted. They went through White House counsel's office. They went through all the right elements of our administration to make sure that they will withstand any challenges that we get from radical left.
You just heard it right there from Alina Habba. They are going to fight it. They are going to fight the Democrats that are trying to prevent Donald Trump from doing what he was elected for. And it is very, very good to hear.
The only thing we're dissolving, to use her words, the dissolution, the only thing we are dissolving right now is pocketing people, lobbyists, and perhaps corrupt, God forbid, politicians who have their, are being funded by things like pharmaceutical companies and not caring about things that really matter. Woke, DEI, CRT, that's all gone now. And we're going to make this education in our country the way it should be, which is strong. We should not have children who can't read. We should not be weak in math. And that's what we have seen in the last administration. And it is a priority for President Trump to have these children educated. But we know that the Department of Education, frankly, wasn't cutting it. So maybe if they took their energy, instead of, singing songs, and whomever wrote that crazy song that I heard them and Chuck and everybody, I mean, that was just bizarre. If they took that energy and used their time more wisely to help our children and the youth of America, the country would be better. And that's what President Trump is going to do. I'm sorry they're upset about it. I'm not really sure why.
Yeah, Alina, are you surprised that they really are serving up the cold leftovers of the 2024 campaign? So again, Musk, Nazi, you heard that. You're Trump, a dictator, autocrat. Yeah. Now it's this. You don't care about the kids, but now it's the trans stuff. I mean, really, it's stunning that with all the money they spend on these consultants, they make millions of dollars in consultancy fees. This is what they come up with.
Yeah, I think I recommend, Laura, that we get them a team of DOGE for the Democrat Party, and perhaps they could look at their own spending on their PR consultants, because they're not winning the American people over right now. You know, to get up and scream and yell, it just isn't working because you're not credible. You lost credibility in the last administration. It's obvious. We know, we see our children. I see my children. They should not be falling behind other countries. America is going to be first. We're going to get ahead. And the fact that they're screaming and yelling, you know, it doesn't surprise me, Laura, you know it, but it gives us something to laugh about while they sing songs.
Now,
absolutely amazing. The Democrats are screaming their head behind their legs. They are just running scared from what Elon Musk and Donald Trump are going to do and going to expose all of these fraud and abuse that have been rampant into the Biden administration. I think you just heard it right there. Alina Habba is going to fight together with Trump administration and expose all of these crooked Democrats that are enriching themselves. And they are targeting Musk right now because Musk and DOGE are exposing what they have been doing all along. Absolutely abusing American taxpayers' money and putting all of the money into their own pockets. Hopefully, now that will stop for good with Trump back into the White House. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below this video. I hope you enjoyed this video with me today. Thanks for watching as always and staying with me till the end. I appreciate you being here, and click right there to watch the next video, and I will see you there. Bye bye.